You know, when I got back from Vietnam, I didn't have a lot going for me. No friends, no home, and a town full of cops giving me shit. The only thing that got me through was the Sean Geek podcast, which I download off of SeanMcGinnity.ca. And so should you. That's the Sean Geek podcast, which you can download from SeanMcGinnity.ca. Do it, or the first blood's going to be yours.
Welcome to the Sean Geek Podcast with your host, Seanorama and
FastFretFingers.
How you doing, brother?
Good, and yourself?
Good. You know why?
Okay.
Look at this.
Why?
Oh,
That's Gibson's.
yes.
And it's only Wednesday.
I don't even know what day it is. All these days blend one into the other.
No kidding.
So, the episode today we're doing is just me and Todd because it's long overdue.
Yeah.
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 We've had a lot of guests lately.
Yeah, we have, actually. We haven't really had a whole lot of time, just the one-on-one.
I will say that there was a couple of fans of the show that were in the salon that were requesting us doing an episode. There's the two of us.
Did they have a request of any particular type of episode, or just an episode?
They did, actually. 2 votes for people's sexiest man issue.
Okay.
And us talking about it, because they thought that would be funny.
Oh, okay. That wasn't the topic I had in mind, but we could definitely we'll have to.
We'll start with yours, and I'm going to see if I can look it up and find something somewhere where discuss that maybe.
Okay. Now, the topic for today, I thought, this is a universal topic. This is going to cover a lot of people. Okay. It's not going to be a pigeonhole type thing where there's only a small group that's going to really understand it. This will be the most memorable moment that you had in school. Now, we're not going to go with anything that went horribly wrong or anything. We're just going to go with the most memorable, positive memory that you have in school. Now, you can either pick grade 1 all the way up to grade 12. It's whichever one that you recall. And it doesn't have to be just one item.
Most memorable doesn't have to be good or bad, just most memorable?
Well, let's start off with grade 1. Okay. What are your earliest memories of grade in your first couple of grades, like when you first started, like say grade 1 to 4 or something like that? Basically, the first school you went to.
Okay.
First day of school, you go in, the school is different. It has a specific smell. The outside has a specific scent and atmosphere, and just being there. Do you recall any of that?
Oh, I do actually. I recall being incredibly overwhelmed. Mm-hmm. Thought school was supposed to be fun. And I guess I had a different picture in my brain on what school would be like, but I was like terrified and all that. And it took me probably till about grade 3 before I settled in, because I didn't speak the language.
Right.
Yeah, that's my recollection. What about you?
My very first recollection is going in the classroom. Each classroom had, I can't remember if it was a velvet bag or not, but they had blocks in the bag. Now, these were plastic. And say that I
blocks?
distinctly remember, yeah, but they weren't really blocks. They were more like looked like French fries of different lengths. So there was the first one I remember was orange. That was the longest one. All the other colors I don't remember, but all I remember is they were all different lengths. And basically the first day I was there, I think we were just kind of putting the blocks around. And the first memory that I remember from my teacher, she was an older lady, very nice, but because we didn't, like you said, we didn't speak the language, right? So French wasn't really the only French we spoke was on mom's side if we went to Mimiers or one of our aunts and uncles and stuff and talked, Shediac or whatever. But
maybe we should go into detail a bit here about, people might not know what we're talking about here with the change of language thing.
Oh, okay. Well, Sean and I, last name McGinnity, everyone's like English. Even when we went to French school, they tried to pronounce it McGinnity, which was, funny in its own. But, but yeah, so, we grew up English, I guess you could say, with a side order of Shediac, which was half English and half French, which is kind of an Acadian thing. The Maritimes, it's a lot of people, that's kind of their language. That's what we grew up with anyway.
Yeah.
So when we went to French school, there was no Shediac, it was French.
And it wasn't and it wasn't French immersion, to be clear. No. Like, some of these teachers didn't speak English at all. They didn't know how to.
Right. So more than one occasion I had my ear tweaked for not listening, not because I wasn't listening, as I couldn't understand what the hell they were saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she kept getting me and Joel, another guy that I went to school with, kind of got us both mixed up. And actually, that's not the first time. There's a couple of times within the years that they had mixed us up for some odd reason. I don't know. No idea.
The same guy every time, though? Like, you're always mixed up with that same guy?
Well, I remember distinctly twice. I've never been mistaken for anyone else except for him. Okay. So this happened twice during the school years. So. Yeah. So well, for me, I guess I was just kind of writing a couple of things down that I remembered. Now, what was the name of the school, the very first one?
Central. École Centrale.
Are you sure?
Central, wasn't it?
No, I don't think it was Central. I do remember in the house that we lived in was built prior to 1899 because we had newspapers in the attic portraying that date.
That showed those dates, yeah.
Right. Now, I distinctly remember going through the papers, I think with Mom, because I'd found them up in the attic and we kind of went through them. And it actually was the opening of the school.
That particular school. I'm looking this up right now because this is bugging me now. Because I think they called it Central, but I think it actually had a proper name.
Yeah.
Okay, look it up. I'll look it up. You keep going.
So anyway, yeah. So the things that I remember were because the school was a certain size, and by the time that we came around was 20, 30 years later. I guess the population, there was more people. So what they had done, which I've seen them do here in town, was they add trailers, right, to the school.
Oh God. Yeah. Okay.
So do you remember the wooden ramp going down?
Yes.
And then going down into a hallway, and it was all like plywood on the ground, and then it went into trailers. Mm-hmm. And then you went into one trailer for lunch, right?
Oh my God. I forgot all
bring
this.
You back?
It's all coming back to me though.
Now the things I remember about lunch was, you remember we had those thermoses, and then you had the lunch pail, and you had the two snaps, and you open it up.
I think the thermos went into the top part or whatever.
Yeah, and in the thermos, Mom would have put milk in with chocolate syrup. That was your chocolate milk.
Yeah, the chocolate syrup. And it wasn't milk either. It was half milk and half that powder.
Oh, crap. Yeah. It was it whole milk? The red bag. Baxter.
Was it red? Okay, I don't remember that. But yeah,
they had bladder bags. I'm sure
bladder bags.
They still have them, I believe. I haven't seen them forever. And then you had the special container. You just put in the container, and then you clip the end, and would use that. So we take that and then use half of the skim milk powder, and then mixed up a jug of, so you doubled your kind of your output a little bit, stretching out the milk. So anyway, we had that. I remember the big, the soccer balls, not the regular soccer balls, like with the little honeycomb.
Yeah, but they almost like basketballs ish, that were all like they were like bumpy or whatever.
Yeah, like a squiggly lines everywhere. The big bouncy balls. When you hit those, they just flew like crazy. I don't think there's another ball I've ever hit where it would ever bounce that high. And the other thing I remember was in the wintertime, they had the snow drifts that they would pile up, and then we'd go on top of the snow drift, and then people would slide down and stuff. I remember that.
Oh, yeah.
I remember friend of mine's. Yeah, I remember a friend of mine's bike.
My brain is just like blowing up right now with all these memories. Like it's all stuff I'd forgotten about. Yeah,
well, because when you're there, I remember the back door that went into the playground area, and then it was all fenced in. And then I think there was a fire one time in the apartment block just right beside the school, and you actually saw the people coming out, kind of like in their pajamas and stuff, because I guess they just didn't have time to get anything. It had happened so fast.
I get bad news, bud.
What?
Our school isn't there anymore.
Oh. What was it called?
What the heck? Well, I don't know. It's not there. What street was it on? It was on
we'll have to Google map it. We'll have to go for a drive.
Well, no, that's literally what I'm doing right now.
Was it Alphonse or something?
Oh yeah.
Same one that Zap lived down. I can't remember the name of the street.
I'm going to zoom in here. Clicking on this. That's where I want to be. Directions. Anyway, sorry, go on. I'm on a hunt.
He's on a hunt. School. Okay. So what would have been your favorite school year and why? Now you have to exclude graduation. You can't include grade 12 because that's a pretty big
in New Brunswick specifically.
Sure, we'll go with that.
Yeah, because I know you graduated, right, in New Brunswick?
Yeah, I graduated, and then I went back for another year just to get more courses. But
that's what it was.
I didn't end up needing them.
I didn't graduate there, so. Oh man, I don't know. I think it was a toss-up between grade 3 and grade. Like, remember we did grade 4 and 5? We did it at grade 4 and 5 were at another school, that small school, Belleville. Is that the school? No.
Saint-Clair-de-Marie was.
SAM, yeah. That was
junior high. Was that junior high?
7, 8, 9.
Yeah, it would have been junior high. Yeah, 7, 8, 9. So prior to that was I think it was Club Boudreau.
Boudreau. You're right. Yeah.
That's where your friend Troy used to live.
He lived right by that school,
just at the bottom of the hill there. Yeah. So because I think in that school was only two.
It was two grades, 4 and 5.
Yeah, 4 and 5.
So I think 4 and 5 blend in together for me, but in grades 4 and 5, I had my first girlfriend. So that's kind of a good memory. It lasted a week.
Wow!
And I got a kiss, and I got a kiss on the cheek. I was pretty excited.
Ooh.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, I think I got a kiss on the cheek. I know I held her hand, and she gave me gum. I remember that much. And strangely enough, just like about 3 weeks ago, she friended me on Facebook, and I didn't know who it was because I didn't recognize the last name.
Right.
Because she'd been married or whatever. So.
Right.
So that for me, that was a big developing moment for me, because it's like, oh my God, someone's interested in me. I'm a nerd. And then, but really, grade 3 is when I met Richard. So I mean, that probably wins hands down. Because I mean, my lifelong friendship with him, like that really changed a lot for me. What was your favorite grade? I'm driving down Main Street, Shediac, by the way, right now.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna find our freaking school.
What, can you go back to 87?
I wish.
It doesn't look the same.
Dude, nothing looks the same here. Like, what's
no,
going
no,
on?
you might as well say downtown Winnipeg. It's
What
like
totally.
totally.
Is this? What street is this? Dollarama?
Oh yeah.
There's a Dollarama in Shediac?
Hey, there's McDonald's, there's Tim Hortons, they've got everything there now.
Yeah. It's not Victoria Street, is it?
It's not just Ghoul's Fish and Chip anymore. There's other things.
Man,
There was that. There was Pizza Delight. I'm trying to remember all the different restaurants that were along there.
Pizza Delight was like the chain. Like that was the chain we had.
That was good pizza though. Their calzones were amazing.
Oh my god.
And Deluxe Fish and Chip. My god, if you're ever in
Sackville. Here it is.
Right, oh, Sackville.
Sackville. All right. I'm facing the school.
Right. Is it a big hole? Or someone's house?
What the hell's going on here?
Community center?
Club d'âge d'or acadien.
Old age home? Golden age home?
What the heck?
Retirement. So the people who were there.
The building looks right. It looks like a school, but it's an old age party house.
Well, all the people that were there back when we were there prior to that.
Oh, wasn't Little Show's house on the corner there? Or Platypus? Billy Platypus? They had a indoor pool.
Oh yeah.
That was on the corner, right?
Exactly.
I might be on the wrong street here. I think I'm on the wrong street. Because there's no house there. There's a Shoppers Drug Mart, so I must be on the wrong street. Oh, maybe it's right here. Okay, anyway, sorry. So your favorite grade was what?
Well, now that you've mentioned grade 5, I'm thinking, yeah, okay. So that year, actually, Piste Et Pelouse, you remember that?
Oh my God, yeah, of course.
Okay. So I actually won the trophy that year for the school.
What year was this?
Well, it would have been
4 or 5. Was it Woodrow?
It would have been grade 5, I guess, if that's what the last year was.
Yeah, that was the last year. Yeah.
Yeah.
You wait a minute. So, you actually say you won the top prize?
Yeah. I got the trophy actually. The discus was the last item that we had done.
We had to do discus,
and I actually won.
Yeah. I didn't. How do I not know this?
I won against Philip.
Dupree? No,
I can't remember the last name. He lived out by Junior and Jan's. One time I went to their house, and then I guess I stayed too long. Mom and Dad didn't know where I was, so they went home, and Uncle Junior's driving around trying to find me. Yeah.
That was so grade 5. Oh my God, Piste Et Pelouse. So that was like,
Now, Piste Et Pelouse is basically an outdoor event where you've got, you get your shot put, you get your running, you get your, all your different, things. Most of it was running.
Olympic style.
Yeah, and I had long legs, and we lived on a farm, so we were out all the time. So yeah, my cardiovascular was great.
Yeah. Well, those long legs, man. How do you lose with that? Like.
So that was one memory that I remember. That was really good. The other one was the pageant.
Oh.
Now I had done actually.
You might have made me change my my vote. But go on.
Because every year, well, not every year, but most every year, we ended up playing at the pageant, usually for one of the contestants.
And playing what, Todd? What were you playing?
I was playing guitar. What do you mean?
Well, for those that don't know,
the movie. Oh, yeah.
Todd's a guitar player.
So I playing guitar. Mike was on the drums, and Norm was on the bass.
Yep.
And we did that for a number of years. And then once one person knew that we were playing for them, other people came forward and asked if we would, do some songs for them also for their talents.
You guys are like
We did.
celebrities almost. It was like, oh my God, there's a band. I'm going to perform at the talent show and sing, but we don't have a band. Oh, Todd has a band. Like you guys played for like everybody.
We did a lot of talent shows, but we never had a singer. So that was kind of, so we did a lot of Rush and stuff like that. So we did
the instrumental Rush songs.
Yeah, a lot of those. So the final year now it wasn't the year I graduated, I think it was the year before. I was actually an usher. So one of the contestants,
this was your grade, was this your grade 12? No.
I think this was grade 11.
11, okay.
I think it was grade 11.
Yeah, because that would have been grade 9. Yeah, that sounds right. And that was my last year there, I think, or something. No,
I think so.
Grade 12? Anyway, sorry, go on.
Yeah, I can't remember now I think it was grade 11. But yeah, so it was a little bit different because, and actually modeling clothes too. Never modeled clothes before in my life, but this was back in, the 80s when it was all pastel colors and you wore the
puffy shoulders.
You wore the shirt tied over your, the front with the shoulders on. Oh yeah, it was just
crazy. I remember that very well.
Yeah, I remember the song playing. We actually had it videotaped. And I don't know if I still have the tape, but if I did, I'd like to watch it. But the thing is, it's VHS. But I think no, actually, I got a VHS player. Should be okay to play. But yeah.
If you don't, I have a VHS player for sure. I have one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are my favorite times. I mean, we played a lot of pageant shows and stuff, and that was fun.
I have to admit, for me, yeah, like meeting Richard was a big deal for me because he was my best friend and everything. But I think going to see you perform and seeing you on stage, and I'm like, holy, that's my brother, man. That's my brother up there. And to me, that was like just the coolest thing to see is like, because you see, you buy our like hit parader or see you hear about these people, but then to actually see you on the stage, it was mind-blowing for me. And I bragged that off like.
Was that was the first time you saw the band on stage?
Yeah, I guess on a stage, yeah, because I saw you guys practice,
right,
of course, but yeah, seeing you guys on stage, I don't know, I thought you guys were the coolest. Actually, I thought your first drummer, Zap, like I thought that guy was the coolest guy.
He's an animal.
Yeah, he's an
animal on drums.
But I don't know. I had a soft spot for Norm on bass. To me, Norm was my Michael Anthony, and you were my Eddie Van Halen. and Zap was my Alex Van Halen. Well, no, he wasn't Neil Peart. He was more Alex Van Halen.
Right.
But that was like, I don't know, like.
Man, that was version 1. That was version 1.
Yeah.
So at the very beginning, Zap was the drummer, and Mike had actually taken bass, and he had.
Oh yeah. Wait, so Norm wasn't on bass in the first version.
Norm wasn't in the picture at that point because it was still Zap, Mike, and myself. And then we had to we were getting ready to play, I guess, at the Coliseum for the schools. The schools were going to go.
Okay,
we're going to have a couple of bands per school.
And what was this lineup then for that thing?
The lineup?
Your lineup.
Oh well, we never ended up going because Zap had a bodybuilding competition and he was cutting up, so he couldn't really play.
Yeah.
Because all.
But that was Zap. That was Zap and Mike in that version.
that yeah. At that point, that was. And then I think after that, Zap was continuing on with the bodybuilding, kind of faded away a bit from the drums. So that's when Mike kind of said, "You know what? So he goes up, buys drums, learned how to play them.
Just like that, yeah.
Yeah, Norm. Same thing.
So he got good in a really short amount. Mike got good in a short amount of time. I thought he'd always been playing.
Yeah, no.
Holy
And you know,
crap.
he never had a lesson that I'm aware of.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so they came a long way pretty fast. But I mean, you're trying to learn. I mean,
You're trying to learn Rush
it,
to start with.
it's like, yeah, yeah.
That's why I say sometimes, Todd, what an asshole you are. Let's do some Rush. Oh yeah, okay, sure. I've
Well,
never
hey,
played drums before. We'll do a Rush.
you set your goals high.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I remember my recollection of that show because I went to that show that you didn't play at
Mhm.
and saw the whole lineup. And I remember there was some. I'm trying to remember, there was one band that played, and I remember through the whole freaking set of what they played. I don't know if they were played 3 songs or whatever it was. I'm like,
Were they
do you remember the name?
syntax error?
Yes. And I'm like,
Were
boy,
they
do these guys suck.
were they wrapped were they wrapped in paper,
Yes.
like
Yeah.
printer paper?
Yeah. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
the tractor fig paper.
I'm like, so Todd's band's not getting to play, and these guys are playing, and this is what
Yeah.
we're showcasing. And I'm like, but Todd, it's Todd.
Yeah.
He's not playing. I remember I was so mad. And honest to God, every time, like you'd still see Zap from time to time. I
Mhm.
refused to talk to him. I was so mad at
Why?
him for blowing your opportunity.
Well, it wasn't I mean, it was just for fun. It wasn't a big, I mean, it was a big deal to us at the time because of our age and
sure.
the
But
times and everything. Yeah.
but that band got
Oh, they were
a little bit
horrible.
of they got some notoriety from that show. And I think
Yeah,
didn't they play somewhere or I don't know. Anyway, that was
it's possible.
for me this was your big break.
Yeah,
And for it not to happen, I got really mad. But I mean, how old
that's
was I? Like I was just a kid. Like to me, it's
yeah.
like
Well, I was only probably 16 too, so I mean,
yeah,
or 15 or 14 at that
yeah.
point. Hmm. Yeah, the band stuff was really fun back then.
Oh God.
So yeah, school. I don't remember a whole lot of the classes and stuff. I remember my chemistry teacher because he was kind of funny.
Oh, what was his name?
Gaetan Doyle.
Gaetan Doyle. Oh
Yeah,
yeah, man.
I
Okay.
actually looked him up on I can't remember now. Was it Facebook? There was something I looked him up and he was there, and he looks like him, much older, but
Yeah.
definitely him. It
Okay.
was pretty cool to see. I think
Still
he was in an
teaching,
old
I
age
wonder?
home or something.
Well, he shouldn't be
No,
teaching
no, no,
now.
no.
He'd be too
Oh
old
my
for
God, he was probably ready to retire when I was there. That was
that.
87.
I remember that guy.
He's probably like 120 now. I can't remember how old he was.
What, he's 120?
Well,
He
if
might
you
be.
consider, like
Yeah.
he looked like he was at least 65.
Yeah.
When back in '87, so that's extra 20. That's a lot of mileage.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not too sure if the picture was current or if this was one from years ago, but it looked like it was a picture of him sitting in like a big chair, like in
Yeah.
an old folks home or something.
Okay.
That's what it kind of looked like. Yeah. Who's your favorite teacher, and what subject
Ooh.
did they teach?
I think I had a lot of favorite teachers back home,
Hmm.
but favorite not for what they taught me, but just because they were less mean to me, because some teachers were mean
Hmm.
because we weren't French. And
Right.
there was a little bit of, I mean, this isn't anything like, people suffer because of the color of their skin or anything like that. It's nothing like
No.
that, not to
No.
that
No.
level.
Nothing like that.
But
No. No.
there was prejudice by the French people towards the English people and vice versa. So I felt some of that prejudice and some of that frustration with like, oh, those English kids. Like I felt a bit of that, but I mean, it's not anything I would, take to my grave with bitter anything. It was just, but I remember hearing comments when I could understand French of them saying, making fun of the accent or whatever. Like
Right.
I remember that. So, the only good teachers I the only good teachers were the ones who were nice to me. I didn't view education until later, but I think my favorite teacher was Teresa Oswald, and that was in Winnipeg. She's like an MLA or some political person now. Right. And she came into our school right out of university. She literally just graduated and started. She was like 22 years old or whatever it was. And definitely my favorite teacher because she put me on the writing thing. She's the one that she was super hard on me for my writing because I'm like, oh, I'm a good writer. Like I just had, you know, when you're the only one doing what you do, you're kind of like, you think you're an island unto yourself and that maybe you're good at what you do. And then and then you meet someone who knows about writing and they're like telling you your shit is shit. So she was really hard on me, but she had said, I'm being hard on you because I see potential in you, or I see potential in your writing or whatever. So I had a creative writing class with her and it was hard work, but I really learned how to edit and make sure the content's good. And, you know, that's really what gave me the writing bug. And she made me read books I would have read otherwise. And she got me into loving reading stuff that wasn't just comic books.
Right.
So huge kudos to her for that.
Nice.
What about you?
Oh my God, I have to go through them. Let's see. Grade 1 was Gloria. Grade 2 was Teresa.
You actually remember their names? Holy shit.
Just the first grade 2. I can't remember. I think it was Teresa. I could be totally wrong, but the name. But she was very nice. Yeah. But God, there's my history teacher. My God, what was his name?
Was this in grades 1 to 3 or was this later?
No, this was grade 11, 10, 11, 12.
Okay.
Who is the history teacher? Who do you remember?
I didn't take history at that school, so I don't know.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that was I was gone.
Well,
before.
It was him and his wife. His wife taught sciences humaines.
Oh, okay.
And he taught history. He was one of those people who was very animated. He kind of looked like wow, when I think about it, it's kind of looks like, I was going to say Charles Manson. No, not really Charles Manson. Just Charles Manson with no teeth. I think that's the kind of like, you know, when you have no teeth, they have that certain look on their mouth.
Yeah.
Okay, so similar to that a little bit, but not like he had teeth, but it just the way it kind of looked. Actually, he was very nice. Yeah, there's a couple teachers. I mean, the gym teacher, they never give any grief usually, so they're usually pretty good.
Yeah.
No, there wasn't a whole lot of teachers were teachers, I guess.
Was there like a music influence in your school? Like, did you take band or something?
We never had band. The only thing we had was guitar, and I think we had guitar. That was at SAM.
Yes, because I took guitar too there.
Yeah, it was either grade 7, 8, or 7, 8 or something like that.
6, 7, 8.
They had acoustic guitar. That was. I mean, I'd already started playing guitar by then. Before that, but going into there, that was pretty fun. That was pretty fun to figure out. That was the acoustic classical, so that had the nylon strings.
Yep. Yeah.
So I wasn't really used to how they kind of roll off your fingers. It was a little different. So, and that was kind of the first time I had ever played one, which was kind of
cutting your fingers with nylon strings. I remember that.
Yeah. And then they'd have plays and stuff with they'd have what do they call it? You press the button and it makes the notes on the string. And then you just strum, and all you do is just press a button. It'll say, "Oh, you play G, you play D." You know.
Oh wow, I forgot about that. That's cool.
Yeah, I remember I had the concerts in school. Yeah, that was pretty cool. Not like now. Now it's crazy. Like you're renting a whole, they have like a whole brass section.
Yeah.
All we had were these recorders, and that was the extent of it.
Small town Shediac, man. We didn't have stuff like that. We didn't have a full band class. We didn't have a football team. We'd have like a soccer team, I think, right? Or a baseball team.
I'm surprised we didn't get someone showing up with some spoons or something. All right, we're gonna teach you how to play the spoons. And
but I think it was a budget thing. Like, musical instruments are expensive, and I don't think small town Shediac, I don't think they could afford to have that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what the budgets were. If that's a thing that's run just by the city, or if that's run nationally or provincially.
Like, did we even have a hockey team even at Polyvalent or something?
Oh yeah, we had. We had a hockey team.
Okay. That's probably where all the budget went.
And Joel, the one that we get mistaken for, that was one of the top guys. I think he was a goalie. And then there was Stephen Dupuis. He was the other very athletic person on the team. And he was really good too.
Yeah, I was the doughboy guy. I didn't do any of those sport things. I was heavy into television by that time.
Well, you and Richard spent a lot of time together, and you guys took his golf cart, and you guys went pretty much everywhere, didn't you?
Oh yeah. Yeah, we got in trouble a lot of times. The cops came over.
Oh really?
Oh yeah. Well, we used to drive into the cemetery and kind of hot dog in the cemetery with that thing, playing we called it War, but it's like pretty much playing GI Joe. We all had our GI Joe memberships and our GI Joe dog tags and stuff, and we pretend that Richard's golf cart was like the Viper. No, I can't remember basically the Jeep. And he was the driver of the Jeep, and I was
all terrain.
Yeah.
Mad Max.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So we would
had like a grill in the front, and then this big drill off the side of the wheel.
We drove everywhere with that thing.
That'd be pretty.
It was fun.
Yeah. You and Brian, wasn't it, Ferguson?
Yeah, Brian. Yeah, Brian Ferguson. Hi, Brian. I know you listen every once in a while. Those. I literally spent every day with him. I don't think I saw you that much. Like, I honestly spent all my time with Richard.
No, actually, I was hanging out with Gary a lot, I think, back then.
Yeah.
And he had I had my dirt bike, and he had his dirt bike, and we did a bit of riding, and then we had our BMXs too. When we were younger, and we just went everywhere with those.
Oh yeah.
From morning, get up, go, do whatever, and then come home, eat, have lunch.
What was that like when you got your dirt bike? Like that amount of freedom you suddenly had, because you could actually ride your dirt bike to Shediac, right? Because we live outside of Shediac.
Yeah, because actually, because when you went down the service road, when you went past the go-kart track, I believe it's still there now. I think now there's a campground and all that stuff. Yeah. When you went in the dirt road and you went all the way down to Alphonse or wherever it was, that street where our first school was. Yeah. Zap's parents lived right off of the highway. Oh, so basically, I go from the service road, jump the 4-lane highway, and on the other side of the road, 2 houses in, that's where he lived.
That's right.
So so I'd go there, and he had he had a Can-Am 2-stroke. It was oil. He had to use oil, I guess, mix oil and stuff. I think we talked about this before. Yeah. And he forgot the oil, and we're going up the hill, and he's got this thing just pegged, and then it just seized up solid on him. Because that's
the hill to get off the highway, right? You're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember that hill, because we tried to do that hill with the golf cart, and I think Richard's dad had tow us out.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, got in a lot of trouble for that.
I could see that.
Because that hill was steep, man.
Well, one time we switched bikes. So we're on the service road, we switch bikes. And I have no idea how to ride his bike because mine's like 1 up, 3 down, or 4. I can't remember what the shifting was, but his was the opposite. So I kept shifting and I couldn't even get it to go. And then the cops were coming. We could see the cops coming. So I'm pushing this thing across in the ditch from the service road, trying to get back to his house.
But you don't know how to shift up or shift down or whatever.
No. And then we get into the ditch. It says, I can't get your thing started. So I grab mine. He grabs his, and he's trying to start this thing. And he finally gets it running. And it looks like a forest fire had gone off because it's just a plume of just blue smoke. Just, the oil, just way too much oil in the cylinders, and it's just burning off, and it's just crazy. So we pretty much gave the cops a trail from the ditch all the way to his garage.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, and after that we never switched again. I didn't want to. I didn't want to screw up the bike. Best friends in high school. But I think we've gone through that.
Yeah, I think we have.
Yeah, mine were Zap, Norm, and Mike. We were thick as thieves, hung out all the time, whether it was lunch or break time or after school or jamming. Those were my highlights. Let's see. And then we went to first thing I remember from grade either 1 to 3 or very first grades. We kind of covered that. So I think, yeah, we've covered pretty much everything that I had on my list.
And that's good.
If there's something you wanted to add.
Grad, I guess.
Okay.
Did you like your grad?
I did. Now, what had happened was in grade 12, I was missing 1 credit to graduate.
Was it because they had half credits, right? Back home?
No.
Like, how did that work? Was 1 credit, was that like one credit was like it took the entire year? Is that how that works?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 1 credit. Yeah. So I was missing 1 credit. So I went to summer school in 86. And then I did graduate that year because I did get my diploma. I just didn't get it with everyone else.
You got it. Okay.
86. So I've got a shirt, I had a shirt that said 1986 LJR. Everybody had their signature on the shirt.
Yeah.
Which was fine. I didn't graduate with everybody else. I did play at graduation.
Yep.
For someone else who was singing.
Who was that? Is that one that you had video of?
Mari Cormier, I think. I can't remember. So long ago. I remember
anyway. No, go on. Anyway.
So then I graduated actually in 87. So I stayed for a year because I knew we were moving, and there wasn't really any point trying to go to Red River or anything because any course would have been at least 2 years, right? Mm-hmm. So Mom and Dad were moving here. I was coming with them. So yeah, we came here. You were still going to school. I ended up working for Boeing.
Yeah, that was 87, yeah.
Worked there for a number of years and then started at the hospital, and here we are.
You haven't had a lot of jobs.
Not a whole lot. I mean, I worked at the co-op at home back east at the store. That was my very first job. My second job was at Boeing. So yeah, third job at the hospital. Yeah, so I haven't really bounced around jobs. I know you've been like just here alone. You've gone through quite a few jobs.
Yeah.
So I've been fortunate.
Never by choice, but it was always
I've been kind of
tough.
Fortunate. Yeah. Until Boeing, sold the Targus division to Bristol. So, but they were going to use their own people. So why they didn't need us?
Yeah.
So I could see their point, but it sucked though because I made more money there than I did for the following 10 years after that at my
Yeah.
other job. So it took a while to trying to catch up.
I remember, so like my biggest pissed off moments of life. One was you guys not playing that show and being mad at Zap. And then the second one was you losing your job at Boeing because they got rid of the department.
Right.
Two of probably my biggest moments of life where I was so pissed off. Like I was so pissed off that I cried both times. I'm like,
Really?
yes, because I'm like,
I mean,
I was mad that my brother got effed over. That's what it was.
Wow.
And there were like two of my angers, and I was in a very bad relationship, and I was angry a lot. But those two moments, like there were two moments that broke me a bit.
Wow.
I don't know why, but I don't know. I guess it's because I love you. You know, and I didn't like seeing things happen to you. It just bugged me.
Well, that's awfully nice of you.
Wow.
I love you too, bro.
Nice. My graduation was weird, like really weird, because I graduated.
I went to your graduation.
I know you did. I don't know. I don't know if we want to. Well, let's take a couple steps back. We'll get to that in a second, because that was kind of a highlight, I guess, in a way. But I was only here for 2 years.
Right.
And I didn't know anybody. I didn't build any long friendships. Like, you know, at graduation, it's like I've been with these people for, you know, some people since grade 1, but, you know, some people maybe a little less long than that, but it's people you've, you know, forged these big friendships with. And I didn't have anybody like that. Like, I was trying to break into cliques, and, you know, it was really, really tough. So when graduation came around, I was not a cool dude in high school by any stretch of the imagination. So I went solo. I wore your suit. Or wait, did I wear your suit? Yep. No, I didn't. No, you. Sorry.
Yes.
I wore that suit later for a job interview. Or no, or did I wear your suit to grad? Because you had a black suit at grad. At my grad.
I gave you my suit that I bought from the Chateau, and don't forget, back in the 80s or 90s, the Chateau, and everything was arm pads, right?
Yeah.
Everything had the pads, right?
Yeah.
So
there's a story. I have a story about that suit too. So we'll get back to that suit. So yeah, I wore your suit for grad. I went solo. I couldn't find. I don't know how many people I asked to go with me to grad, and everyone, like, people just made fun of me. That was just my.
I thought you did go with somebody.
No. I went to grad single.
Right.
I think Kelly did too, like our cousin.
Yeah.
And then Kelly Boyle, I think, was there with us too. She was like, we all went single.
Yeah.
And
you guys went in a group, as a group.
Yeah, kind of as a group, yeah.
Right.
Which, you know what? It was great, but it was funny because I started slimming down just because I started growing. I had a growth spurt around that time or something. So I was finally skinny because I'd never been skinny before. And no one was interested in me. But when I showed up there, I had my nice hair. I had that nice suit on. I wasn't dressed like everyone else because everyone was wearing tuxes. What's that? I look pretty good.
Go ahead. Yeah.
I look pretty good. And all of a sudden,
you had a haircut.
What was that?
Yeah, you had long hair.
Yeah, I had long hair.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, I don't know what happened, but for some reason, the girls were like, "Oh, this guy's handsome." All of a sudden, and yeah, it was crazy. All of a sudden, I was popular. So I don't know. I was popular for like one night.
After you graduated.
So we ended up going to a party after and all this stuff, and I kind of got in trouble with mom and dad after that. But you were at my grad, which was freaking awesome. It was like, I don't know.
Yeah, it was kind of weird.
Did you go to that party with me? The after grad party? Somewhere in the bush or something? Someone's house?
Are you talking about when Ted? No.
That was
way
a different
after.
thing.
Or a different thing altogether. No, I'm not too sure. I just know, yeah, because the girl I was going out at the time was graduating the same year as you were.
Yes, because she was my
Same
age.
school. Right. So that in itself
She
was kind
didn't
of
think
weird.
I was very cool, but then she started talking to me when she started going out with you. I remember that. And then all of a sudden,
So
I was okay.
So you needed a suit. So you got the suit, and then I was like, well, now I need a suit because now I'm going. So I went out and bought a suit, like a different suit.
That was a nice suit. You look pretty dapper. I remember that.
Yeah, I don't. I'm trying to remember the suit that I had. Oh yeah, that had padded shoulders too.
Oh, of course it did. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember now. It was a black suit with. It was kind of like a stripe, but it was kind of like a dark stripe, gray stripe, but it was almost like a velour that was kind of pushed the opposite direction. You know how it kind of changes, not color, but just the way it kind of, when people are raking their carpets and stuff. They like it all going one direction.
Yes. Oh man,
Just
I'm
a
foggy.
just a mishmash of memories trying to put, trying to get a date on it. Go, well, was this before that or was this after that?
Like I find like the first like up to 5 years that we were here, it was just a crazy, because I moved literally like after grad, because my parents weren't here, right? They hadn't moved here. I was moving out after graduation, and it was literally like within a couple of days after grad, I moved to Montreal. So I packed up all my stuff, hopped on a train, and went across the country.
Now, was this with mom and dad right away, or was this with Dave and Rhea?
I was living with Dave and Rhea.
Okay, so because when you went to school, you went out there.
Yes. Well, I went to university out there. Yeah.
Right. How come you didn't go here?
Because I literally graduated, and mom and dad were living out there. They moved halfway through the school year, my grade 12 school year.
Oh, right. Yeah, because that's when I had to find a place to stay. Yeah.
Yep.
That's when I was working for Boeing, and it was like, okay, you got a road trip. You're going to El Paso, Texas. You'll be back probably in about 3 weeks. And it's like, okay. So it's like, oh, and then mom and dad were going to be moving. They were already been in Montreal by then. So I had to. Mike was actually here, so he came with me, and I was looking at sublets because I couldn't afford anything.
Mike was here.
So Mike McGinnity, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think he came with me to find a place to stay. Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. Yeah. So that was the whirlwind, because I didn't live here for that long. I lived here for grade 11 and 12. Is that right?
I think it was just
10, 11, 12.
Yeah, there was only a couple of years that we were here.
Yeah, and then I moved away. So,
well, we moved here in '87.
Yes. And
so
I left here. Oh wait, so '87.
What year did you graduate?
I graduated in '89, and I left here in '89. So I was only here for 2 years. Yeah. And then I moved again to a new city, and then didn't know anybody, but I secured my first job thanks to that suit, because I had a picture of myself in that silver suit, your old silver suit, and they hired me based upon how I looked.
Really?
Because I applied at Le Chateau, and you had back then you had to include a picture with your resume. So a picture in the silver suit with my long hair, and when I was applying for, what's that?
I was gonna say, what better suit to wear than one from the Chateau? Yeah.
So they called me in right away for a job interview. Like I remember no cell phones back then. So I dropped off my resume there with my picture, and then I dropped off my resume. I dropped my resume off at like 3 places in the mall. And then there was already a message for me before I even got home from the mall. And it was the Chateau. So then I went back to Le Chateau, and then they met me, and I had cut my hair really short. And I came in, and they're like thinking I'm going to be this long-haired guy wearing a nice suit. And I had short hair, and I remember the person interviewing me said something along the lines of, "You cut off all your hair?" I'm like, speaking French. Yeah, I did. Yeah. Yep. And she's like, "You're so ahead of the trend," or something along those. And she thought I was ballsy to go from super long to super short hair. And she said, "Okay, you definitely have the job. You know, you're bilingual, blah blah blah." You know, and I got the job like right on the spot. I accepted. And then when I came home from that interview, I had a message from one of the other places, and they wanted to hire me too. So then I ended up taking the other job. So yeah.
Wow.
The suit got me my job.
I was going to say, I didn't know that you had applied at the Chateau.
Yeah, I applied to both. I applied to 3 places. I got a call from 2. So I ended up working at the bookstore because I really wanted to work there.
Right.
And oh my God, Todd, I think we could do a whole podcast in the bookstore in Montreal. What a different animal.
It's like The Office.
Yeah, it was so weird. It was easily my favorite job of all time, like hands down. Hands down, still to this day. I had so much freaking fun there. There's so many shenanigans that went on. Montreal is a fun place to live. Probably the funnest place. It's the funnest place I've ever lived in. But it's too much. It's too much fun. It's too go. It's too social. You're always going out. You're always partying. You're always having fun. You're always going out and drinking. You're never at home. I don't know. It was crazy. Yeah, that's a whole episode on its own. We talk about